the gospel, we can find that they were taken.
Well, as you can see, gorgeous morning. I really wanted to be in the woods this morning. Alright, but back to basics. What's one of the most basic things you got to pay attention to? The wind. If there is something that you need to pay attention to 100% of the time, it is wind direction. Now, our prevailing wind, southwest. Westerly is, northwest, west, but southwest is our prevailing wind. So that's what most of my stuff is set up for. Well, this east wind this morning, I couldn't think, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? Most of the movement is from west to east where I hunt. So I just didn't go. I drove around, and man, stupid me for not having something set up for east wind, but not stupid me for staying out and making the right decision, because I seen some little bucks sparring, a pile of does, and a real nice buck crossing over onto my place, and the wind direction on that side, it'd have killed me. He'd have smelt me a mile away. So good decision, hard decision. You have to make that decision. I don't care what you do. I do the basic things. I have a box that you buy, and I buy it after season because it's a whole lot cheaper then, and I use that deodorant and soap that's not smelling, detergent and all that. But they have all kinds of stuff out there now. These things, closets and things you put in your truck, and clothes that lock in. Whatever you use, do not depend on that 100%. Always play the wind. That stuff is not going to keep you 100%. You keep your scent down, and you are not going to beat a deer's nose. I don't care what you do. So always play the wind. All right, thermals. That's another thing you got to pay attention to. In the morning, sun heats up the earth, heats rises. They're pulling up hills. I like to be on ridge tops in the morning. In the evening, I do bottoms because thermals are pulling towards that bottom. I live on a hill, wood stove. In the evening, whenever that wind calms down, you can tell it starts pulling down the hill. My smoke does, no matter what the wind is kind of out of. So always pay attention to your thermals. Always pay attention to your wind. If you do that, you are going to be well ahead. Now, man, today it hurt not going out today, especially seeing all these deer moving around. But I made the right decision. I stayed out of the wind, or out of the hunting ground, on a wind that I just wasn't comfortable hunting. And now I get questions. Someone will message me every year when the wind's when there's a pretty stout wind. You going hunting? I mean, deer gonna be moving in this wind? And that's kind of a hard thing. It's hard for me just to, deer are gonna move. I usually say yes. If you, I'm not gonna tell somebody no, I don't go to the woods. If you think you got a spot that you can kill a deer and it's windy, go hunting, especially in the evening, because that wind's probably going to die down before it gets dark. Now, structure, I don't like hunting windy days, real windy days, because the structure I hunt, there's a lot of hills and valleys. If you used to if the old good Lord took a 1 billion gallon bucket and splashed it out onto this place, and you watch the currents, that's how wind flows around all this structure like that. It swirls, it eddies. It's just like a river flowing through there, the wind is. And so a lot of them places that you think, oh yeah, it's a good wind, you can get out there and the wind's just swirling. You hit the back of your neck. hit you in the face, back of your neck. I hate it. Okay, that's half the time you're like, okay, that's a good wind. Half the time, ah, man, that sucks. You know, and so you got to watch out on them windy days as far as the swirling wind. If you were out on a flat plain and it's blowing 100 miles an hour, you know, I doubt there's going to be a deer moving, but you know, at least you know which direction the wind's going. Out here, it's so hard to tell, and you know, those are just little things about you're going to have to know about your property, and that's just going to come with scouting and spending time in the woods. Okay, but you're wasting time in the woods if you don't watch the wind.